Alright, so today I'm going to be tying a pattern that I would say few people have actually really heard of. And this is a nymph pattern that is fairly old, but it seems like people don't really fish it anymore. This is a pattern called the Zug Bug, and I will add some more details about exactly the origins of this fly. But one thing I do like about this fly is it uses a material that I think just looks really, really good, which is peacock herl. It uses a lot of peacock herl, kind of lending off the theory if a little bit is good, then a lot must be really good. The other thing I like about it is that it really mainly just uses peacock herl. So there's not a lot of different materials you really need to tie this. The peacock herl is really going to be the vast majority of it. So I'm just lining up. I've got 3 strands of peacock herl, and I'm just trying to line up and make sure these are, as close to the same lengths as possible there, because this is actually going to be my tail material. So I'm going to measure out how far I want those to be. Got a nice little tail there. And one thing that is kind of cool about peacock is it's such a fine material. If one of them's a little longer and you do that, nobody will really be able to tell. And we can even do that. So now they're all the same length. So I've got those tied in there. I'm going to wrap forward, come all the way back up to my eyelet, hold those backwards, and now I can tie in. This is a wire. This is kind of like a nickel or a silver wire. Put that all the way up behind the bead head there. Tie it in on the far side next to me. Alright, just make sure this is covering up all my thread down there. Come back forwards, and then a key with this, anytime I do a material that I'm going to wrap over with thread, I typically counter wrap the material so I can forward wrap the thread. And the reason for that, I find, is that usually you can get a better tie off on wire if you're wrapping with it with the thread. So if you're wrapping the same direction your thread as you are your wire, much better tie off. And then you're counter wrapping the material, which then means your wire is going to be securing it in at every turn, which is really the point of the wire. So I'll start counter wrapping this peacock forward, and if it starts coming apart on you, you can just do kind of like one little turn to it, and that will get your material back together. You can see that's building up a nice little kind of natural body taper there. You can come all the way forward with this, but don't worry about doing too thick at the head here, at the collar. You want to leave a little bit of space because we do have a couple different materials that need to get tied in at our collar here, so don't cram your collar. Alright, we have that tied in. Now we can wrap forward with our wire. Just get nice even wraps there. Now I'm putting a little bit of pressure on this. I want it to be holding in pretty strong there. Couple wraps behind it. And I'll helicopter it off. Okay. You can see my fly is actually kind of coming free here. I'm going to go ahead and just readjust so I'm nice and straight. Alright. Okay. Now, we just have a couple more steps to this fly. So one of the last steps, we take our butt ends of that same peacock hackle, and we're going to tie that in. Just catch it right on top of the hook. And that is going to be like our little wing case on top there is peacock. And if it's a little long, just snip it down to the length that you want. Okay. Get in front of that material. Great. And then final material here, this is kind of a unique one. This is a red kind of hackle feather. And you don't want too big of one here. You want pretty small little fibers over the front just to create a little collar. So pull these fibers back. And I'm going to trim ahead of time. Okay. And you can see I kind of have that little butt caught in there, so I'm going to try to get that trimmed down. All right. Acceptable. That is acceptable. And you really only need like one full wrap of this here at the collar, just to give it a little bit of legs. Cut that off as close to the base as you can. Pull it free. Make sure these fibers are not getting trapped. You want them kind of flaring backwards. And let's see if I can get this any lower here. I think that's about as tight as I'm going to be able to get that. So let's flare that out just a little bit. You just want a little bit of that little red kind of collar to it. You do not need much. All right. Can whip finish. Cut our thread off. Last step here. You don't want it coming undone. I'm going to put a little dab of head cement on there. And we can harden that in place. Alright guys, and that is how you tie the Zug Bug. Tie this up, let me know how it fishes for you. As always, comment below and let me know what fly you guys want me to tie next. And if you guys have a couple of you who say the same pattern, I'll give it a shot. Might not be the best ever at it, but I will give it a good, honest shot there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.